And this is Mr. Brown. This is our last podcast on our Network Design Lab. So far, I introduced the lab to you. The second podcast, I showed you how to do your logical diagram or your network diagram using something like Dia. The third podcast, I showed you how to start locating your equipment or how to look up your equipment, and then how to start plugging that into a spreadsheet to keep track of all your equipment. This last podcast, we're going to look at how to pull it all together for submission. So again, I'm going to go back to the content page and remind you this last module down here, Network Design Lab, has in all the resources we need, Network Design Lab file, links to these podcasts, all that kind of good stuff. We're going to look at our Network Design Lab. Again, scenario talks about all the pieces and parts to our plan. Oh, come on, keep scrolling, there we go. And, keep going, come on. Network diagram that we did with Dia. Last podcast we did on the equipment spreadsheet. This last part of our plan needs to be the plan description, justification, and how to pull this whole thing together. So what you're going to want to start doing is this is going to be a 2-file submission to D2L, to the Dropbox on D2L. Let me just point this out real quick. As we get down to roughly the last week of class, this Dropbox here on D2L will open, and you'll submit your 2 files here. So the 2 files you're going to submit will be your spreadsheet showing all of your equipment. You'll be able to just save this and submit that right to the Dropbox. The other file you're going to submit is your Word document. Well, once you get your network diagram done, save that, export it, in Dia, export as PNG or JPEG. You'll plug this into a Microsoft Word document, just drop it right in there. And then we need to answer a couple questions about our plan. So let me go back here real quick. This right here. What I want you to do is, once you have all your, your equipment picked out in your spreadsheet, your network diagram done, now I want you to take a minute and look at your plan and answer these couple questions for me. And I want you to be able to answer about your plan, the advantages of your plan, or the pros or the good things about your plan, the disadvantages or the cons or the bad things about your plan, and then the last piece is any improvements or suggestions you can think of. There's always something. So what you want to do now is, in your Word document, come in here and do about a paragraph on each one. If you look at your Network Design Lab PDF here, I say about a paragraph on advantages, about a paragraph on disadvantages, about a paragraph on improvements. And you want to think of things, well, if I look at my plan, I'm just looking at this student's plan here. It's a good solid plan. But if I look at it, just the inherent nature of this type of network design, and again, I'm not picking on the student's design, it's just the nature of the beast. This is a good solid collapsed backbone, but the problem I have is I have single points of failure. If this device fails right here, pretty much the whole network's down. That is a disadvantage. Well, the advantage is that this is lower cost than doing a parallel backbone, if you remember your backbone types. So with my design right off the bat, I can talk about things like, well, the advantages is less equipment necessary, blah, 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 blah. Turn right around on the next one and say, well, the disadvantage is this is a single point of failure. That's the kind of stuff I want you to think about in your plan and put it down on paper here. And again, do about a paragraph on the good side of your plan, do about a paragraph on the bad side of your plan, and then anything you could recommend for improvement. And then save this Word document. And now you have your 2 pieces that you're going to submit to D2L. Again, you have your spreadsheet you're going to submit right to the Dropbox. You have this Word document that has in the network diagram, plus your descriptions. You'll submit those 2 files right to the Dropbox here on D2L. And that'll be your submission for your Network Design Lab. After I get these, I will grade them here in D2L using the Rubric. Again, quick reminder, if you go to the Rubric page, this is the rubric for the Network Design Lab. Make sure you have all these pieces. There's the stuff for the spreadsheet we're looking for. There's the stuff on your network design we're looking for. There's the stuff on your justification, the questions we're looking for. I will grade it using this rubric. and you will be able to see this rubric and the feedback once it's graded here on D2L. My goal is always to have this done, the week that you guys are taking your finals, have these done and have it back to you before finals week is over. That way you can see your feedback on this. So that is pulling your design lab together for submission on D2L. And a quick reminder out here, I have this down here as a part 4. Delineating the 2 files you're submitting, the cost sheet, the spreadsheet, and the plan, justification, and map into D2L. So there is the last part of your network design.